Let's go ahead and open with a prayer. As we do all our services here at our church, just allow yourself to be fully present in this moment. On this special day. Today is a day when we create a ceremony that is ancient, that brings us inspiration and information from Spirit. And so this morning we open our minds and our hearts to possibility. To what Spirit is leading us to do, what Spirit is speaking to us about. And so we bless this service. We bless each and every person who is here. We know that we are not here by accident. We are here by divine order. And so we move into this ceremony and into this morning with open hearts and open minds and anticipation for what is to come. And so we bless this morning, this day, this church, this congregation, this service, and give thanks for all the good in our lives and all the good that's on its way to us now. And so it is. Amen.
So it is.
All right, let's do our congregational, surely the presence. Together our statement of being, there is but one presence and one power in this church, in our lives and in the universe. God the good, omnipotent. And I'm going to have Cindy come up and do our daily word.
Good morning. Good morning. Today's word is power. My thoughts and words reflect my divine inheritance. When I listen to my inner conversation and recurring thoughts, I may hear fear-based, limiting talk, or I may hear positive words encouraging me to live joyfully and confidently. The choice is mine. Through my divine gift of power, I take command of my thoughts and my life. I release thoughts of powerlessness, and as I do, my negative self-talk diminishes. I affirm my divine inheritance of faith, wisdom, understanding, and strength with my thoughts, words, and actions. The power to live a full life is mine. I embrace insights I've gained through experience. I own my mistakes without shame or embarrassment. I'm eager to learn. I'm willing to try new things and stretch myself. In power, I thrive. And the verse is from Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits.
So today's a little bit of a different kind of service. And so we'll start, I'm going to give you a little bit of an explanation. How many have not done this white stone ceremony before? So, yeah, so we'll just give it a little refresher for those of you who have been here, but information for those who are new. It's an ancient ritual, and I'll explain it to you in the service. It's part of what we'll start with is I'll give you some history about it, but then also at some point we'll go into a meditation. And we'll only have one song, Morning is Broken. Do we have that one? Yep, I thought so. So we'll have that song at the end, but right now we're just going to do this service called the White Stone Ceremony. And so the first thing I want to know is, does anybody not have a stone, a pencil, and a card? Anybody not have that? Everybody got one? It's interesting, and I'd just like you to read the stone because it is from Jerusalem. And if you look on the back of the card, you'll see where it is quarried. And they quarry this stone, and then they crush it, and then they glue it back together to make it all uniform in size. But they make it just for this particular ceremony. And on the front, it just briefly says, any name or word of inspiration that comes to you may be written on your white stone. So we're going to write whatever the word is on your white stone. So everybody needs to have a pencil. It's a guidance for you throughout the following year. So that's what's on the little card. This white stone is truly a gift. When you think of where it came from, in the thousands of years it's been in that ground, in that hallowed ground where Jesus walked. And it is, as the card says, it's a time of changing our consciousness. It's changing our thoughts for a new year. We do this through a meditation. And the history of this is that in the ancient times, when someone became spiritually enlightened, they received a new name. Two of the most prominent ones that everybody will remember are Abraham and Sarah, who were the parents of John the Baptist. His name was Abram, not Abraham. And his wife's name was Sarai. But when they were spiritually touched by the angel telling them of the miracle that was about to happen in their life, and they accepted that and went along with it, they had a new spiritual understanding and a new spiritual life ahead of them. They got a new name. So at that point in the Bible, they were not called Abram anymore. They were called Abraham, not Sarai anymore, but Sarah. So that's one example. There are many in the Bible, but that's one that you'll all be recognizing. And then the other one is Saul. Saul was a man who murdered anyone who followed Jesus. And he was on his way to Damascus, and he was struck blind. And for 3 days he was blind. And when he came out of that predicament 3 days later, he had completely changed his mind. He didn't want to be a murderer anymore. He wanted to be a follower of Jesus. And when he had that change of consciousness, his name became Paul. And you'll all know Paul because Paul wrote most of the New Testament and the Pauline letters to Greeks and Romans. So those are just two of many, but that was a tradition in those days. The tradition was that when you changed your consciousness to a spiritual consciousness, you also got a new name. The other interesting part of the history of the white stone is that when you were put into prison back then, and you had paid your dues in prison and you were out free, they gave you a white stone to put in your pocket and take with you everywhere you went. So that showed whoever might recognize you and think you were out of prison for the wrong reason, you had your white stone to show them. So there's history to this as well. The prisoners also, once they came out of prison, took a new name too. So they left that old past of having been served time in prison. They left that behind them. So the ceremony itself is meaningful and comes from a verse in the book of Revelations. Now the book of Revelations, if you look at it, is really called the book of Revelations to John. It's not just Revelations. It's the book of Revelations to John. And the book of Revelations was not a book of doom. It was written by a man named John the Encourager. John was known to encourage people. Isn't that very different than how we were raised about the book of Revelations? They just forgot to tell us all that part. But this is the truth. And you can go back and look at it in the Bible. It tells at the top, the book of Revelations to John. And John was the encourager. And John became the bearer of good news. So in the Hebrew culture, that they believed certain people were messengers of God, and they believed that John was a messenger from God, bringing to them the word of truth, encouraging them all the way. When anyone received the word of God or the word of Spirit, that person would overcome all their limiting beliefs and conditions. That was the teaching. That was part of what John taught. He was always speaking to them about a time of no oppression, a time of freedom, a time of limiting beliefs being gone, and limiting conditions being gone. So he was very positive about the future. In the passage in Revelations, it says there is a spirit at work in your life. When you connect with that spirit, you will conquer all oppression and you will be free. The passage is in Revelations in chapter 2, verse 17. The full passage says this: "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. To him who conquers, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone with a new name written on the stone, which no one will know except him who receives it." Now there's a metaphysical meaning in this passage, so I'm going to give you the metaphysical meaning of it. The metaphysical meaning of the phrase, anyone who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches, refers to meditation. When we're in the quiet and that still small voice comes to us, hearing that still small voice, listening to it, and heeding our inner guidance, that's the metaphysical meaning of let him who has an ear to hear. And the metaphysical meaning of church, we all have talked about this before. Church, the word church means a gathering of like-minded people. All of you here are like-minded people. Metaphysical meaning of a white stone with a new name is twofold. It says, "And I will give a white stone, and on the white stone will be written a new name." Our old limiting thoughts keep us imprisoned, keeping us stuck in old beliefs and in old actions that no longer serve us. So when we're freed of those old oppressive thoughts and those old behaviors, we live from new thinking and new thoughts. We're free to hear the inner guidance that brings us a new direction to take for our future. When anyone received the word, it meant, metaphysically, that we would embrace it. So when I hear it and I'm listening to it with my higher self, I embrace it. That means I receive it. I take it in. It was believed that the person would be living from a higher good, a higher consciousness, with the ability to overcome all those limiting beliefs and conditions. We all have limiting beliefs and conditions. None of us realize the power we truly have, which we alluded to this morning in the Daily Word. We all are powerful beyond measure, but no one's ever told us that. And so in these times when we can listen to our inner spirit, we're always guided to a higher power in our lives. The Hebrew meaning of the word manna, remember there was manna enough for every day, remember that in the Bible? And the word manna was supposed to be something that people ate. That was the metaphysical meaning. The metaphysical meaning of manna is bread of life, the Word of God. They believed in those days that the Word of God gave them life. And it was called, remember we talked about this before, that manna was the bread of life. The Word of God was the bread of life. The metaphysical meaning is the realization that the divine substance is everywhere present, in every part of our consciousness. It's our daily spiritual food, and it will sustain us and if we partake of it daily, it will sustain us. But it's that spiritual food. It's that comes to us when we are in the quiet, that spirit of life that guides us, the wisdom. And of course, white, the white stone. White's a spiritual color of purity, victory, and joy. So every part of today has a metaphysical meaning. And in that passage, it says, to everyone who conquers. Well, to everyone who conquers means being willing to move beyond the ego personality to the spiritual truth, the true power that we are. That when we're willing to live from that inner spiritual guidance, we've conquered that ego that often leads us astray. So the message that you receive today when we go into the meditation will be coming for your own spiritual inner guidance. You'll be hearing a new word that indicates your guidance for the year to come. It may be a name, but it's a word. It will be a word that will guide you to the very ways that you can move forward for your highest and best path for the coming year. I call it being the cutting edge of growth for you for this year. So as we begin, I would invite you to take your stone in your hand and feel it. Just hold it in your hand. Hold your stone in your hand. Just feel it, and as you do, just ask, what is my new identity for this year? What is my new name for this year? Just hold it there. Remember, when you ask, you will receive. When we ask and we're open, we will receive. There's always an answer. We just need to be listening. Our guides and our angels will not intervene, but will assist us on this spiritual path, but not until we ask. So this is an ask. Guide me. Speak to me. And it may not be, it won't be probably a proper name. It may be an attribute, or a value, or a verb, a word that you can personify maybe and reflect on. This is accomplished through this guided meditation that we're going to begin here in a few minutes. And just trust that your new name will come to you from your higher self. It'll be what's up for you, and I'll give you some examples. People have asked me before what were some of my words when I would do this in the past. And they were words like anticipation, acceptance, deeper trust, grateful friendships. But it turned out that every single word that I got each year made total sense for what my guidance should be for that year. Now, it didn't make sense at the time I got them. Can you imagine being in a meditation like this and getting the word anticipation? It was like, what does that mean? But you just hang on to them and you put them on your stone and you look at them every day and it will become very, very clear. So what I'm wanting to make a point of right now is to remember let go of any judgment or any doubts or any concerns when you hear a word that may not make sense to you. Just hold on to it. And trust that it will come. You will get a word. This word may just fleet through your mind, but then it may come back 2 or 3 times during the meditation. And you'll know because it'll keep bugging you. I've already gotten mine this year. When I work on these, sometimes I get them ahead of time. I've gotten mine already and I can't get rid of it, so I know it's what I'm supposed to be doing this year. So anyway, we're here to just release any doubts, any judgments, and open your heart to that inner voice that's always talking to us. And when it comes to you, during the meditation, sometime or other, you most likely will figure it out. And when it does, write it on your stone. And make a commitment to it. Even if it doesn't make any sense to you this morning, make a commitment to it. One of the ones that I got was friendship. And the year I got friendship, I didn't really know why or how that was going to guide me through the year. And what happened was all of my friendships changed that year. Some of my friends died that year. Some of my friends were brand new that year. Some of the friends I'd had for a long time just sort of faded out of my life as I faded out of theirs. But all year long, that friendship thing would come up. But the day that I got it, in the White Stone ceremony, it didn't make a bit of sense to me about how it was going to be guiding me for my year. So just remember, part of this ceremony is about you can never step in the same river twice. You cannot go back and redo this year. Now, probably most of you don't want to. I don't want to go back and redo this year, particularly. But we do that. We hang on to it. So just be prepared to be open to a whole new year and trust Spirit, that Spirit is love and God and guidance. Like I said, I've already found mine this year, and maybe there's one that will hang on to you today too. I don't know. But just trust it, because you'll know it when it happens. And remind this to all of you, I want to remind this to all of you, that at the level of your spirit, you already know everything. You already know everything. Spirit is there to guide you. Your spirit knows. We just have to be open to receive. So just allow that in your life too, every day, to be able to receive messages. You know, I've told you before, how do you know it's your spirit and not your ego? If it's your spirit, it's pretty counterintuitive, because you already know what your ego would have you do. so when something comes into your head and it's a little bit counterintuitive, most likely that's spirit, that's intuition and spirit talking to you. So as you hold your stone and hold it with reverence, prepare to move into the silence, to be open and receptive to that still small voice that's in us all. You may want to lay things aside, hold on to your stone. You may want to find a comfortable place in your chair. You may want to close your eyes. Do whatever makes you comfortable. And just allow yourself right now to move into the silence. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. And sometimes it helps to pay attention to your breathing. You know, breathing is spirit. It is that lifeblood moving through us. Our breath is the very, very life that keeps us living. So you may want to just notice your breath as it moves through your body. As you breathe in, that breath moves through your arms and your legs and your hands and through your body. So just feel your breath as it moves through you. Just continue to breathe and pay attention to your breathing. The sound of it, the feel of it. Because that breath brings you into this moment. Not the past, not the future, but this moment as the oxygen moves through your body. This breath is always with you. It's always in you. It is the very breath of life. It is the very spirit of life moving in and through you. As you feel the stone in your hand, just remind yourself it's a sacred object as it prepares to hold your sacred name for you this year. And as you move into this consciousness, just release and let go of any doubt. Let go of any old thoughts that keep us from moving forward. Just release any old hurts, old energy, and open up that space for the new. Is that ancient story of the Christians who were held in bondage by their captors. We too are held in bondage by our past. So this is a time of letting it go. Let go of any old pain, old hurts, old anger. Go of any unforgiveness, any old losses. Let go of any judgments. We're good judges. Just let go of judgment. Go of anything that no longer represents this present moment, right here, right now. Be open to the consciousness of who you are today. You can't write on this new white stone something that holds old messages. We hold on to the past because we think holding on to the past protects us, but it does not. It holds us back. This is the fear of the Romans held by the Christians. That fear held them back and kept them in bondage. So too will the fear of our letting go of our old stories and our past experiences. We mustn't let that hold us back. Every day is a new day, and every day you are a new person. With new understanding, a new faith, a new guidance. And so this white stone that you hold is the promise of a new thought, new path, new life. It is a symbol of a clean slate, a new beginning, a new way to be in partnership with your spirit. Just as it was in Hebrew times in the Bible, your new name would be something that indicates your spirit. Remember, in that Hebrew tradition, every name represented a quality. They didn't choose their names because they were popular or because they liked the name. They gave that name the essence of that person. So now I consciously invite you to open, to receive whatever thought comes into your head. You may want to say to yourself, what is the essence of who I want to be this year? What do I need to learn? Where do I need to grow? How do I want to live? Where do I need to give? Trust that this word will be revealed. Maybe a quality like honesty or truth. Maybe a word like love, or friend, or joy, or compassion. Maybe a state of being like faithful or trusting or peaceful or loving. Just allow those words to float through your mind. allow that spirit, that divine spirit to speak. Know that you are here today by divine appointment. Know that you have a new quality emerging and a new name because you chose to be here today. Trust that Spirit wants only good for all of us. God, Spirit, whatever you choose to call that higher power, it only wants good for everyone at all times. Allow yourself to feel joy and excitement and anticipation of a new direction. This new name has come to you to be lived out, to be expressed, to be embodied as you. Is this what God is calling you to be, or to do, or to have? You are so much more than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. You are so much more. This is the message that Spirit always has for us. We are powerful beyond means. As that word keeps floating through your mind, trust it. Spirit always has an insight into your divine, into your holy essence. Open it up and let it in. Whenever your word has revealed itself, write it on a stone. And as you write your word on the stone, give thanks, feel joy, feel anticipation, feel gratitude. When you have your name on your stone, put it somewhere where you see it every day. Carry it with you. Hold it close. Whenever you look at your stone, realize you have the gift of choice to choose differently, to live a more fulfilling life, to co-create with God in new and greater ways. This is a new year filled with new beginnings. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and allow yourself to come back into this space. And if you don't have your new name quite yet, it's in there, it's working. If you don't get it on the stone right now, get it on the stone whenever it comes, or when it keeps coming, and you realize this must be it. So take a deep breath. So we're going to sing Morning Has Broken. Has broken like a new morning. Words have spoken like a new spring. Praise for the springing fresh from the spring. Rain sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden saw play. Praise praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. Eyes open. We back? Are you back? If you don't have it yet, that's okay. Just keep asking today. It'll come, or it'll come back, or one that you thought was kind of not it. We'll keep letting you know that's it. So anyway, take a deep breath. And we have some visitors. If I can have the lights up so I can see back there, I would love if you're willing just to stand up and tell us your name and hi. I'm sorry.
Josh, this is my daughter, Amelia Taylor, and Madison Taylor, and my mother, Susan.
Welcome, welcome. We're so happy you're with us. So happy you're with us. And you're new too, right? Yes.
I'm Mark Mayhew, and my wife, Barbara.
Welcome, welcome. We're glad you're with us. Have you ever been to a wet stunt ceremony or a Unity Church before? Oh, good. All right. How about you guys? No? Okay. Well, welcome. It's kind of a different service, but we're happy you were with us. So, all right. If you want to be on our newsletter and find out what's going on with us, there's some pieces of paper in the back of the room. Just give us your email address and your phone number, because Constant Contact won't take it without both. But anyway, let us know and we'll put you on our newsletter. We send them out every week letting you know what's going to be happening. So, all right, so we have some more announcements. Our coffee hour is going to be the first Sunday of every month. Seems to be a little bit easier to keep up with that way. So every first Sunday of the month will be our coffee time. Judy Brownell is in charge of that. Judy, raise your hand. Anybody that wants to help Judy do that, we would greatly appreciate it. It seems to be real popular. We've got a lot of folks. People come before and they come after. So anyway, we're going to keep that coffee hour going. And we are going to next Sunday at 2 o'clock. We're going to have a metaphysical movie. A lot of the movies, I mean, like movies that you've all been to see, like Matrix, and they're just a whole book of movies that have metaphysical meanings. So we're going to have a metaphysical movie next Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and after that we will have a metaphysical discussion about it and look at what it means metaphysically. We used to do this in Houston once a month on Friday night, and it was really popular. So we're going to try to do that. So next Sunday, plan on going to lunch and coming back at 2 and doing our movie. Okay, let's see. We also have the Sacred Bliss Crystal Bowl Voice Chime and Sound Bath, and that's on Friday night. I have it here somewhere. I know I do. It's on there. Good. Yeah, it's Friday night, 6 o'clock. It's just an hour and a half, and then Sunday at 1 o'clock for an hour and a half, and then we'll move right into the movie, I guess. But this will be next door, so this won't be in this sanctuary. It'll be in our building next door. Let's see. What else do we have? We have our book study club. So I've decided that since February is Heart Month, we're going to do a whole month on love. So every Sunday service will be about love. There's all kinds of love. There's agape love, there's human love, there's all kinds of love. So we're going to be talking about all the different kinds of love. And every Sunday in February will be Heart Month or Love Month. And we're going to, and the book study club, and again, Judy, if you'll raise your hand, the books are available for purchase here. She's brought some. And if we run out, if you buy one today and we run out, we'll get some more. I can get them pretty quick. I got them in 2 days this time. So the other thing I want to tell you about February and love is, for my church in Houston, I had 2 friends who were friends for really 30 years. And they're both going to be down here on the 18th of February. She is a trained operatic singer, but she also did Patsy Cline all over the United States, so she's very versatile. And she's going to be here to sing, and my friend is a pianist, John Hardesty is his name, and he has actually performed in Carnegie Hall. So they're going to be here on the 18th, I think that's the 18th or 19th of February. I believe Sunday's the 19th. Somebody look that up for me, but it's that weekend. We're going to have them for the service, during the service on that Sunday. Is it the 19th or the 18th? It's the 19th. Yeah, Sunday the 19th of February. And at 2 that afternoon, we're going to do a concert. And they can be a hoot and a half together, so I don't. Who knows what will happen, but anyway, we'll have a concert that afternoon for an hour, so mark your calendar to come and be with us on February the 19th. So, like I said, I'm planning all kinds of different things to do during the month of February that have to do with love. So mark your calendar to be with us, because what the world needs now is more love. So we'll see you all through the month. But anyway, so let's do our peace song and our prayer for protection, and have a beautiful Sunday. We're so glad you were here. And I want to hear about some of your words, your white stone words, sometime or other, if you're willing to share. So mine was peace, by the way. I kept getting mine all week long, and I kept thinking, well, I'm going to have a different one that day. Well, then it turns out that today is Chinese New Year. Happy Chinese New Year to everybody. And the animal, the zodiac animal for the New Year is the rabbit. And the rabbit is peace, and I happened to be born in the year of the rabbit. Did you too? Anybody else born in the year of the rabbit? Okay, I love it. So I think peace is what I'm really supposed to be, because I didn't even know that when I got that word. So anyway, have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and go celebrate Chinese New Year.
Here's your song, the peace song.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to sing my song right now.
Sing your song.
All right, let's do the peace song.